It is always such a beautiful thing when MAGA gets what they deserve, and what they deserve is to be protested, booed, and humiliated to their face. And that honor was bestowed upon a MAGA Republican who deserves it more than most, Jim Jordan, who visibly crumbled when during a town hall he was interrupted in the most humiliating way and just did not know what to say. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we can get into Jim Jordan getting protested at his own town hall, I first want to start with a clip that I think sets this whole event up so perfectly. Jim Jordan being called out for MAGA's attack on free speech by Jamie Raskin.
You don't like certain speech? The best speech for wrong speech is more speech. The best speech for false speech is true speech. That's how it works. You have a debate, and you trust we, the people, to figure it out, not some.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I'm inspired by your First Amendment passion. You are the
I knew you would be.
You are the John Stuart Mill of the House of Representatives and the Voltaire of Congress, and you put me in the mood of Justice Brandeis. But I want to ask.
You can stop there.
No, I got to keep going a little bit because I have to know whether or not your First Amendment passion and principles, which I take to be completely true, and I've always known that about you, extend to one citizen named Donald Trump. Now, let's talk about Donald Trump for a second, okay? He is, after all, I think, the President of the United States. And check this out, okay? Everybody in this room who's sitting on this side of the dais is a politician, okay? We have people say stuff about us and say stuff about our rivals and our opponents all the time. I don't know if there's anybody here who's ever sued anybody in politics for libel or defamation. I'm taking that no. I imagine a lot of us have felt like, have you? I'll be curious to hear about that later, Mr. Isa. But the vast majority of us don't sue people, even when we feel really aggrieved by the mean things that people say. And yet, Donald Trump gets to be president of the United States, and suddenly he decides he doesn't like Jim Jordan's approach, which is the answer to bad speech is good speech. The answer to false speech is true speech. The answer to nonsense is the dialectics of expression. That's the spirit of the First Amendment. Well, check this one out. Donald Trump personally suing CBS for $20 billion. The President of the United States is suing CBS for $20 billion. Why? What did they say about him? Did they lie about him? Did they defame him? No, it has nothing to do with him. It has to do with the way he thinks they unfairly edited a video conversation with Kamala Harris. He said that the way the video looked in the commercial for 60 Minutes was different from the way she appeared. The President of the United States is suing them for $20 billion and ordering the FCC, which is part of the U.S. government and under his unitary executive theory, reporting directly to him like a monarch. He's ordered them to go out and investigate CBS. And meantime, his close friend is trying to take over Paramount. And so he's, of course, completely entangled on the business side.
Republicans pretend that they are the party of free speech, but they want to imprison students for peacefully protesting, for writing op-eds. They want to censor you. It's what Elon Musk does with Twitter. That's the whole point. Donald Trump is arresting judges and threatening to arrest members of Congress because they don't want you to use their First Amendment rights. They want you to be quiet, which is why it is so funny when we see these people get interrupted, get protested, get humiliated, and that is what happened to Jim Jordan. And I want to take a look right here. Watch Jim Jordan flustered as speech gets derailed by music playing prankster. Jim Jordan was interrupted multiple times Friday during a speech at a Republican lawyers conference when pranksters played music over the venue's sound system. The troll, whom the Ohio Republican was not able to find, interrupted him multiple times playing songs such as Jelly Roll's Liar. The interruption also included circus tunes and was caught by a C-SPAN camera.
Were they paid? Did they go into the were they the first to go into the Capitol? Did they go in the Capitol through the door, through a broken window? Were they urging other people? Lots of questions we have. So we're trying to get that information. They're working with us. That's a little different because you got to be careful about revealing the names of some of these folks. But they're working with us. It's been, I always say, night and day compared to the previous administration, which you would expect. I mean, Garland and Biden weren't going to help us. The other thing we're trying to get, particularly. Maybe that's telling me. This is great. This is probably a Democrat. There's some Democrat doing this, right? So it's been good. Yeah, it's been good. I'll maybe the last one. When it happens twice, it probably means you're gonna. I don't know who was next. Whoever's got the mic gets to go last. Who's got the microphone? Or
that is just so perfect. Circus music for the clown that Jim Jordan is. Just beautiful karma playing out for all of us to see. And he deserves it. Jim Jordan is a clown intending to cause you real pain with the one big, beautiful bill that MAGA is trying to push forth right now, trying to take away, steal is the word we should be using, healthcare from tens of millions of Americans. And to circle back with good friend of the show, Jamie Raskin, he talked all about that, called all of that out in a clip I want to check out right here.
You've got a hard-right faction within the Freedom Caucus, which is saying this isn't helping in terms of reducing the debt, reducing the deficit in any way, and why should we do this again? So good for them that at least they're calling attention to the fraudulence of the math that's being used. We should be meeting the needs of the American people and figuring out how to bring down the deficit and bring down the debt. So I think that Republicans have a huge political problem now on figuring out how to get through this.
Mm-hmm. When I talk to Republicans back there, then that big, beautiful building back there, they understand the political ramifications of going after Medicaid in some way, shape, or form, adding work requirements in some way, shape, or form in red states as well, right? You have Senator Josh Hawley in the Senate saying, you know what, don't do this. This is a bad idea. What are they telling you behind closed doors? Because behind closed doors, they're telling us some of these ideas are bad. Then I see their votes, right? And I see how the way they talk about it in front of the camera. So what are they telling you behind closed doors?
Well,
and names
the question for them is whether they're going to respond to the vast majority of the American people and their own constituents who are saying, no, don't cut off Medicaid who need it, to people who need it because they've had a heart attack or they have multiple sclerosis or cystic fibrosis. That's people all over the country. They're talking about throwing 10 million people off of their insurance completely. Don't do that. And then those who say all you got to worry about is Donald Trump and Elon Musk, because Elon Musk will spend whatever it takes to oust somebody who doesn't go along with a dictate from Donald Trump, and Trump will come out and endorse your opponent. So it's a moment of truth for them. I will say that they have really locked down their political control over the caucuses. Maybe not 100%, but it's not like there are a lot of Liz Cheney's or Mitt Romney's or Adam Kinzinger's wandering around anymore.
They locked down the control over the caucuses, and yet the conversation quickly moves from the Republicans in disarray in the House to Republicans in the Senate who are saying, I don't care what you guys send over, we're not doing anything. And one of the most surprising people saying this is one Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. Watch this.
I refuse to vote for something that's going to actually increase the deficits. Unfortunately, decisions were made to do one big, beautiful bill. It's not beautiful. I'm sorry. It's not a big, beautiful bill.
And so we're talking about what's happening on the House side of the Capitol and how Speaker Johnson can't get anything done. But let's say, miracle of miracles, they actually get one big, beautiful bill out of the House. It's just going to crash and burn in the Senate.
Absolutely. And then that reinforces the sense among House Republicans, do I really want to stake my career on this by voting to slash Medicaid and all of these programs? So, look, the Senate Republicans are now benefiting from the way our constitutional system works. Let's face it, Donald Trump, despite all of the propaganda about a third term, is a lame duck president already. And he is loosening, or his hold is loosening on Senate Republicans. Some of these people are not up again for another 4 years or 6 years. They're not so afraid, and they're just thinking, is this really a responsible thing to do? To increase the debt, to increase the deficit, throw people off of the Medicaid rolls and other programs that they need, all so Donald Trump can give one last big, beautiful tax break to Elon Musk and the richest people in the country.
How do Democrats kind of lead the charge on maybe reminding Republicans about the political ramifications of this, right? Reminding them what the polls show, reminding them how many people who they serve are on Medicaid or get SNAP benefits. How do you guys do that part? Is it public? Is it private? How are those conversations going?
I say it's mostly public. Yeah. And, you know, I've been going out to Republican-controlled districts around the country, red districts, where the members are refusing to face their constituents and hear what people think about this terrible plan. And I've been going and conducting town hall meetings, and a whole bunch of my colleagues are doing the same thing. We're trying to reach every congressional district in the country with a town hall with a representative. It may not be their representative, but a representative who will listen to them and hear what people think. So I think that's going to be an important part of it. And then we got to just keep organizing. I mean, my project is called Democracy Summer. We're going to have more than 1,000 high school and college kids around the country out knocking on doors, canvassing, doing digital organizing, again, to galvanize this huge latent opposition in the country against what Trump is doing.
So I guess one question is, this morning we basically heard that Moody's downgraded our credit rating. It's one of the things that we're seeing that judges can't seem to hold his power back. He's having a hard time listening to Congress. But the markets really seem to be in his ear. The moment the markets start going nuts on the other side, he seems to back off. Do you think that this budget deal is going to include what the markets are saying to him right now? Well,
again, I think that will encourage the Republicans who are feeling very skittish about what he's doing to say, hey, this is a bad idea. Let's not go down this road. I think Trump is ever more determined to do it precisely because he's losing in court. We're winning in court every single day. We have 156 temporary restraining orders and preliminary injunctions against all of the lawlessness and authoritarianism that's taking place in the country. And so I think that in the final analysis, what they really want to do is have another massive cut to the social budget in America and to turn it over to the wealthiest people in the country. That is always the program of authoritarianism.
These people are trying to steal your health care. They should be booed. They should be protested. They should be mocked. They should be interrupted and humiliated. Call them out. AOC has been talking about this. There are so many Republicans who are beginning to cave on Donald Trump's agenda because they are afraid of their constituents. You do have agency. You can speak out. You can put pressure on these people. That is what we have to do. And it's what I promise you we are doing every single day on this show. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. And if you stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.